Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we will be listening to the demos, to the tracks from my followers, from my subscribers. So if you guys want to have a free feedback on your track, I will do the same kind of video every week, a demo review where I give you some feedback, some advice how to improve the mixing, the arrangement and the track in general. So send me your demos guys on Instagram, on SoundCloud. I think there should be a link to my SoundCloud. Come connect with me. And today I've got two demos from one of my Instagram followers. Hi Mark. He sent me two great tracks and let's have a listen to those.
No matter which color of skin, no matter which country you're living in, I believe we can be one.
Straight away I can tell that there is too much reverb on the lead, on the vocal, and because of that the mix is a little bit muddy. You can try to use less reverb as the very first advice.
That's the way we will win, no matter where you're coming from. Believe.
One more thing I would have done, I think you could try to layer the clap just to add a little bit more character to the sound, because right now I think it sounds too simple. Sounds good though, overall, the track, I like the idea.
Inequality and freedom, I believe we can be one. That's the way we will win. No matter where you're coming from.
As I told you, there is a little bit too much reverb, but it's very easy to fix this issue.
I believe we can be one.
I think you could try and compress the bass a little bit more, because I think it sticks out from the mix too much. I'm not sure if this is a top or the sub layer, because I don't know if you are using sub. If you are using two layers, I think you could try and compress the top layer a little bit more, because yeah, as I told you, it sticks from the mix a little bit too much. Yeah, this part is great. Like the idea is really good. I like this one. The second lead or bass, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's really good. I think now you could try to remove the bass from the breakdown, because it's too much energy. You can maybe try to add some groove, like a drum loop. I like using orchestral drums, orchestral loops, or some ethnic ones. They sound very interesting and they give a character to your track, which is great.
No matter which country you're living in, I believe we can be one. That's the way we will win.
Yeah, I think the vocal could have been a little bit more compressed, or maybe you could try to EQ the very top, because it sticks as well as the bass a little bit too much. Don't overcompress the vocal, because you could easily ruin the dynamics and it will sound bad. So try EQing the vocal first, and if you could fix the issue, then you don't need to use a lot of compression, though it might be a good idea to use a little bit of compression.
No matter where you're coming from, believe in equality and freedom. I believe we can be one. That's the way we will win.
The same thing as in the first part of the track. I think you could try and use a filter to roll off the low end. So with the filter, you basically go up, add a filter in the beginning and in the second drop to, I think you can use it on the master channel. I usually do that for my tracks. Don't forget to turn your filter off when you drop it. One more thing I would have done, I think I would add some groove, some percussion, some shakers, because I feel like the track is a little bit too empty drum-wise, so the drum part of this track. Because if you add some shakers, maybe some percussion, it will be so much groovier. And yeah, that is my recommendation. And also one more thing, the mix in general sounds a little bit too muddy. Try to check the 200-300 Hz on your instruments, on your bass line, because of the reverb, it sounds muddy. I usually cut around to even 300 on my reverb because we don't need the stereo frequencies below the 300 usually, so I do that. You can do the same thing, and after you've done that, your mix will improve a lot. I think you can also add some automation to your leads because they feel too static, so it's just one thing playing the old track. If you have more dynamics, more things going on in your track, it's always more interesting for the listener to listen to these tracks, so make sure to check this out as well. And also, I think you could replace the kick. I will link the video to my kick and bass video so you could check it and make a kick from scratch. Great track, Mark. I like the idea a lot, especially that second lead. I think it was. And let's listen to the second track. The first thing that got my attention is the kick. I didn't like the sample, so yeah, the same thing. Go and check the video, and I would really recommend making a kick from scratch for this track because it will sound much better.
Take me back to a place I know. I'm lost somewhere. Please show me the way to a place to go, to a place where I can stay.
I think when your build-up starts, you can use the filter as in the first track because you need to have a rise and a drop of energy if you want to get a big impact when you drop it. So make sure to do that as well.
To a place where I can stay.
I think the kick, it's too hard because it sticks from the mix too much. Do check the balance, maybe EQ it a little more. You can also try compressing the kick so you squeeze the dynamics a little bit more. Because of the kick, I didn't really hear the bass in this track. And also, the same thing, there is too much reverb, and this makes the whole mix too muddy. So be very careful with the reverb and with all kinds of stereo effects. The lead is kind of too weak. I would maybe add some compression to emphasize the transients, so you hear it better in the mix. You also try using Transient Shaper, which is a great tool, by the way. Let's listen further.
To a place where I can stay.
Yeah, the same thing here. I would say 2 and 300 Hz are the MIDI frequencies in this track. Basically the same as in the first one. So do check your instruments, your leads, your vocals, and it will be much cleaner if you cut the MIDI frequencies from your instruments. And also one more thing, I think this track lacks a little bit of that glued together feeling, so try to use group compression on your tracks, on your instruments. I usually group my tracks by the category. So for example, I group my kick and bass together if I have some kind of similar sounds like percussive bass with where I use a sample. I usually use the same group for that kick and bass. And for the drums, I group all of my tracks into one bus, and I EQ, I compress it, I saturate it, and the same thing for the instruments. Yeah, in this part of this track, I can finally hear some bass when you started to open the filter, and I think you could try and boost the very low end, the sub, and maybe try and saturate your bass a little bit more so you could feel the bass better in the mix.
To a place I know, I'm lost somewhere. Please show me the way to a place to go.
I also feel like that there is too much S in the track, in the vocal. Try using de-esser and maybe cutting the very high frequencies.
Where I can stay somewhere. I'm looking for a place like home where I'm lost no more.
In this part of the track where you use the breakbeat, I think it would be a great idea to add a loop with a live drums with a breakbeat. It will be more interesting if you use that instead of your kick. So try and do that. Because I feel like that in the breakdown there is too much of low energy when you use the original kick.
To a place where I can stay.
Yeah, this track is also great. I like the chords, the leads, and the overall idea. I really hope that I could give you some useful feedback and you understand the mistakes in your tracks, and now you are able to improve those. As always, guys, thanks for watching. As always, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I see you guys in the next one.